It should be published now. I scheduled it for 5:30, and also I made a video, and that should have been there too. This is a very important thing that we could all do, uh, being entrepreneurs, being exposed to a lot of devices, data, and electronic things. We definitely need this a simple measure to nullify the stress. So that's what we're going to talk about. Hopefully, everybody is ready for that. And have some questions about it. Uh, it was International Yoga Day yesterday, and we did talk about that. And mm, some people asked for more information, so that article really helped them to really know what the whole thing about. And I was following up what happened that day yesterday, and there were so many countries celebrated with performing physical yoga, at least. And then there were record number of people in India, where Prime Minister Modi comes from, his state, Gujarat, and it seems they are the most number of people performing yoga at one sitting, I believe. So that was a record, I believe. Anyway, I'm not interested in the records as much as it is being looked at it and then taken as a alternate lifestyle where we can really have some stress reduced. That is important for me. Okay, so that was a very good day, and I was very busy all day yesterday, and it was hot here. Even today, it is very hot in this part of the country, Iowa. For us, it's nice that we have this heat because we were having winter all the year, right? So, but we have some forests near us. One is actually defined by the government here, and it's a vast park, like a Eagle Point Park they call it, but it is just on the banks of the Mississippi. And there was one spot where they put some telescopes that you could see the distance. That is the widest part of Mississippi. So this provides a very good opportunity for us to have this forest bathing I was talking about, right? So in the forest bathing, what you basically do is you just go and walk, but then how you walk, what do you do with this sensations? What do you do with your imbibing the scenery, the sounds, and all that very important because some of these trees they also produce chemicals called phytonoids which are very good for us to breathe in and then they act sustaining for us and of course just reducing our stress hormones of cortisol uh, some of the adrenaline and all those things are very important, right? And producing a relaxation response is also good. Okay, in so many ways, forest bathing kind of calms you down, kind of reduces your stress, and very common measure that is available for anybody who wants to go and walk for a while. Okay, normally you can do every day if possible, or at least 2 to 3 times a week. That may be good. Um, so it all depends upon uh, your convenience and your time availability. But making a habit of that is very good. Hi, Ruma.
Yes. Hi, Dr. Rao. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Can you hear me?
Yes. You sound like you're in a steaming hot bath.
No. No, I'm uh, actually I was working all afternoon, and then I realized it's time for me to do it, so I kind of hurriedly started it, but I was on time anyway. So this is a topic I talked about it yesterday briefly because somebody was asking me. Are you familiar with this forest bathing?
Yes, Dr. Rao. I listened to you yesterday and I couldn't join, so I wanted to make time to join you today. First of all, I miss you. I haven't talked to you in a while. I hope you've been well.
Yeah, I was doing very well. I have been doing this series on energy for the entrepreneur, and this is part of that.
Yes.
So I feel like I have the opportunity. I have the river by the very near, right? We have this beautiful park around that, and that's very thousands of acres actually. We have to drive through, but then you can get out and walk also. So that is a very important thing. I teach my students to be stress free and use the naturals and bring back all our impulses, and there's so many. So I wrote that article, Roma. If you have a chance, look at in my LinkedIn. You will find that article
Oh, I
on.
can't wait.
Yeah, it's a I
Yeah, I look for it.
yeah I published it today, so it should be there.
Oh,
And
excellent.
yeah, yesterday I wrote about International Yoga Day, and today I wrote about this the forest bathing.
Oh,
So
that's so cool. Yeah, and I love both. And I really like the Japanese words, the Shinrin Yoku.
yes, yes, that's where
And
it come from. Yeah.
yeah, and I actually practice forest bathing quite regularly. And one thing I think you might have mentioned too, I like to put my hand on the tree, on a
Ah,
big tree, and
okay.
just kind of absorb the energy, absorb some of that really good energy.
Yeah, you're a tree hugger then. Huh?
Yes. Exactly. That is exactly right. That's what I have on my Instagram profile, that I'm a tree hugger.
That's great. That's great. I'm not making fun of you. I really think that's wonderful. Really nice. There is something about really appreciating that the trees are alive and they are really life, and that life really perceives us too in a way. So for us to be really be like that sensitive, that's wonderful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it sounds like you have areas very close to where you live
Yeah.
where you can really just, are you able to walk
Yes.
to a
Yes.
forest area, or do you have to, I have to drive a little bit to go to one of my favorite
We can walk.
forested areas here
Yeah.
in Northern California, but I like that you're able to walk into one. That's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah, it is kind of close by by car, but then if you can walk it, that's much better. So, or bicycle there, and then park the bicycle, or go to the bicycle. But I prefer walking. We have two ways. One way is to go by the bank of the river, and there's a long path there. There are also a lot of trees around there, and then this whole park is very very good. You know. One of the things I do when I was practicing full time, full blast, I used to have a very busy clinic, and the girls were really busy. So during the very busy day, the lunch hour are usually obviously easy for us to go. We used to order something and take it and go to this park and do a mini picnic like, and
Ah, that's nice.
that broke the stress, very much.
Yeah. And there's something about bringing food out into nature.
Yeah.
It always tastes better, right?
Yeah, it does. And then it's a company too, and then it's kind of breaking the cycle of the stress that I believed in. And it's not like whipping people continuously. Come on, give them a break, let them breathe a little bit. That kind of thing used to happen with that. And they were mightily happy because it was considered that they can have a break like that in the middle of the day. And we did that so many times, it became a very normal thing for us to do, and it kind of contributed to the camaraderie that we enjoyed together you know uh,
Oh, that's so nice.
yeah, so I could do it
That's so
because I
nice
was the
to hear.
only yeah, I was the only boss, so I could do whatever I want to do. So I used to do that. So how are you,
You know,
Roma? How
one
are
thing I appreciate about you, Dr. Rao, is that you really model how to go about your day with balance.
Yeah, yeah,
And I really appreciate that, because you hear so many people who will say, "Oh, I don't have enough time to do this or to do that, or I don't have enough time to enjoy my life, or I don't have enough time to even enjoy,
yeah,
you know, oh, just 1 hour of respite." And
Yeah,
so I really appreciate the way that you model that for
yeah,
everyone is really astounding. And I definitely have taken some good tips from you on how
yeah.
to stay balanced.
I think the main thing there, Ruma, I establish myself in the presence in the morning. When I get up, I don't want
Right.
to my mind to whip me, rush through me, and make all these artificial deadlines and all that. I just take a very simple break of taking deep breaths and being aware of the life around me. What is the life around me, the trees, the that is there, but the garden that we have, and the flowers we have, and they come very well at this time of the year, right? And then also
Right.
the flowers in the house, or the pets, or the people. Just be aware of them. Don't judge, don't say anything, just be aware of them. And then we have this wellness club when students come, and then I just do the whole routine, but I call this exercise in awareness, which is doing the asanas, breathing, and meditation 1 hour, and the discussion of some of thing. But we call that mainly be here and now. Practice being in the present here. Once that is established in the morning, then it seems like we have a lot of time for all the things we have to do because we are very
Right.
focused, right?
Totally correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
I find that when I take time to actually go slow
yeah,
in the morning, it's
yeah,
like that term go slow to go fast.
yeah,
If you take just a little bit of time for yourself first, then
absolutely.
you can offer out and help other people throughout the day
Yeah.
for as long as you need to until nighttime when I go back to doing my going inwards for at least half an hour just for myself.
You see, the whole concept of I'm going to rush to things, do so many things, and then take a break or take a vacation, I think it is kind of false. At least for me,
Yes.
I want to find the balance within me and then be attentive to whatever we do. And then, as they are done, leave them alone. So, at the end of the day, I take a vacation in my mind.
Right.
Vacate the mind at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Clean it off, so that kind of thing.
And then Dr. Rao, I'm not sure if you had may have mentioned this before, but honestly, this whole term creating work-life balance,
Yeah,
it's
that's,
actually kind of like, is it work? Is it life? Is it both? It's kind of like I think you just have to create balance,
yeah.
period.
You
It
know
doesn't
what I say
mean
about
it's
that?
work or it's the life, it's both of them
Yeah,
combined.
yeah, exactly. What I say about that is, why do you see work as separate from your life? Work is worship, or work is service. That's something pleasant you are doing. Then it becomes the reward also. So there is nothing like a separation of work and the life for me, because I have fun and enjoyment while I'm working. Then,
Yeah, exactly.
right? I mean, that looks unusual for people, but from my background, that taught me work is worship. See, the karma yoga that I follow is like you are present opportunity to serve. That itself is good enough for you. So you should be thankful for that. Duty for the sake of duty, and duty in enjoyment, so that you are kind of relinquishing the results and then just doing the job and enjoying that.
Right, right. And making your work
Yeah,
fun and also allowing
yeah,
yourself to bring in your own personal life
ex-
sometimes if you have to into your work and what
exactly.
I mean by that is I've actually put in on my calendar,
Hmm.
my work calendar, I put in lots of breaks. So I
Yeah,
put like garden break, I put fresh air break,
wonderful,
then
wonderful.
lunch break, then screen break. Like
Yeah,
I remind all these breaks, and then a lot of people have started doing the same thing.
yeah,
So which I'm really happy to see.
yeah,
And I just think you can't just wait. You can't do 8 hours straight at your desk and then let me live my life. No, you gotta. you're living your life while you're also working,
Yeah.
so
When I
there's
was in India, I was introduced this term. They said, if you cannot find joy and happiness in your work, you'll be very miserable for a long time of your life, and then you'll have to go and celebrate with a vacation and all that. When I
right, right.
Yeah, that becomes so important to select what really appeals to us as work. It's not easy. Not everybody is blessed like that, but if you think that this is assigned to me by the divine, then it becomes much easier, right, to accept it.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yes. And then also you have to think about, when you go on your vacation, whether it's for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
yeah,
it's like you need you need time to actually decompress into your vacation,
yeah,
and then you need time to come out of your vacation
yeah,
back to work. So it's not just, the old fashioned way was, everybody had 2 weeks of vacation and you took it in a row, and that was supposed to bring you back. It was supposed to resource you enough for the
yeah,
whole year,
exactly.
but that is so false.
Yeah,
You need to resource yourself every day
yeah.
as many times as you need.
Exactly, because that's why I'd say vacate your mind before you go to sleep, and also mini
Right.
vacations, mini like a weekend vacation.
Yes.
It could be very, but then you have to plan it so that you are really enjoying, and the whole experience kind of rejuvenates you from your body and the
Right.
mind. I saw people taking 15 things in a day and rushing from one to other without really, you know what I mean. So enjoy
Yeah, and
yourself.
that's why I love the forest bathing, because you really feel,
Yeah.
when I go, I just drive about 10 minutes to a beautiful place near where I live. It's called
Yeah.
Pinole Shores Regional Shoreline,
Uh-huh.
and they have incredibly gorgeous, not only a forest, but we can see the Pacific Ocean or the San Pablo Bay.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh,
so it's forest, mountains, and water. So then
okay.
I go there, and it's very much, in just 1 or 2 hours, you feel completely
Yes.
rejuvenated. And I really do feel like, oh, I just went on a little mini vacation, even
Yes.
it's 10 minutes from my house. So
Yeah.
that is
Actually,
has been very important to keep that up.
physically, your biochemical complex changes. That's why you feel it actually. Ruba is so right.
Yes.
You actually feel it. For me, it's normal to be joyful and really in the present. So
Right.
it's a kind of way I approach things also. So even if I am talking to you now, I'm very happy that I'm talking to you for no reason. Just like that, a friend has come and we're touching bases, what is going on, catching on. That's good enough. So
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have a high set point for happiness, and I
yeah,
think I do too.
yeah,
I definitely have a high set point for happiness, but I also think it's something that people can increase
yeah,
if they have a lower set point for happiness. You can
yeah.
actually do exercises and consciously create bringing more joy into your
Yeah.
life, and as you make that a priority, it just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah. This yoga aim is to really prevent unnecessary fluctuations of mind, and
Right. Right.
then you will be in the still mind, you'll be in the silence and in the presence. In the present, usually, unless you are imagining something or you are recollecting something, it is pleasant, right? So you enjoy that
Right.
moment. So I'm enjoying you,
Yeah.
Roma, coming up and talking about the things that you do. That's very, very good. That was Ruma. If you want, you can come back, but that was very nice. Ruma came up and really shared with us what was going on. That's very nice. Okay, so she's coming back. That's nice. So I enjoy even one person coming and the same wavelength Ruma is. That's why I'm enjoying her visit. Yeah, Ruma, coming
Hey,
back.
Dr. Rao.
Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Rao. Sorry, I wasn't sure if somebody else was trying to come up, but I wanted to
No,
make
no, no.
sure I was able to say goodbye before we signed off.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Dr. Rao,
Mm.
one thing you mentioned, or one thing you might want to, um, and I'm sure you know a lot more than I do, but we
That's
went
okay.
to Muir Woods, which is here in Northern California.
Hmm.
It's a famous national historic park for the redwoods.
Okay.
And one thing recently, and you may know a lot about this too, is the whole information that's coming up about the mycelium network
Yeah, 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 yeah,
underground,
yeah,
and how the forest, how it speaks to each other.
yeah.
And then, for example, if you're touching a tree, you're kind of touching the whole network, even as you're walking. But
Exactly. Yeah, this is the
yeah,
oneness, Ruma. That's what I think I'm very sensitive about. Is
yes,
we are not separate in the sense, as a beings, so all the trees and everything. In ancient wisdom, they talked about that, they called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The entire living beings world is one family. You know, if the trees are not there and they don't produce oxygen, we are not there. So we
right,
are very intimately connected. So once you have feel that, actually, that universe gives you support and energy. It's not
yes,
something superstitious or some hogwash, but actually, universe will support you when you put out that sense of sensitivity and absorb that. And that's part of it. What happens in the first breathing too, because you are not involved in your own whatever thinking going on, but you are really exposing your sensations, everything to the whatever coming at you. In that way, you are having a dialogue with the nature. You know so
absolutely, yeah,
those trees are among us, right? In there,
yes,
they were there for thousands of years. They must have seen so much of life passing by. So we may come and say for 100 years and go, but then they were there for thousands of years.
yes, yes. And it is really amazing to just put your hand on the tree.
Yeah,
And some people might think I'm a little crazy woo woo, but honestly, woo woo works.
yeah,
And when I put my hand on the tree, I feel an incredible surge of
yeah.
support.
Connected to the other life is not woo. It's like you're not asking anything. You're just feeling the life. And then
Yeah,
if you're protecting the tree, you're not committing a crime. You are being sensitive. You see, that's why all this happened, because we are lost in the thought world. We were not sensitive to what's happening to the tree world. We cut it down.
right.
Now the global heat is a part of that too, and that is really unfortunate because people have this. Uh, they think clever mentality, call other people very easily woo-woo, but they don't look at their own insensitivities, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't care. I usually don't pay attention to that because I consider more
Yeah,
like
me
a,
too.
yeah, ignorant. They are ignorant of the fact of the life that is there for before us and after us too. So you just have to,
Exactly.
yeah. But I'm glad you are really hugging the trees. That's a real good
Yeah,
statement. Yeah. It's a wonderful feeling when I
yeah.
go. We have this big, like all the trees are there, and we can go there. It is in Chicago, very close to us, 2.5 hours or something. I took my children there. There, they give an opportunity to plant a tree and then come back and
Oh,
visit it. So that is
oh,
your
how nice.
throughout your life. So if you plant a tree, you go as much as you want. You can go and visit it, and then somebody else also will take care of the care if you are not there. But then you can see how it grows, how it becomes part of the nature, and all of that. And the whole thing is very good for the forest breathing because they have many circuits or maximum circuits that you could take and could go deep into the. See, I took my children and my wife there several times, and they loved it.
Uh-huh.
They loved their experience.
I bet. Oh, it
Yeah,
sounds so wonderful.
yeah. It's like very close for us, and then they're all natural. They don't really do something of landscaping and all that, but they allow the trees to grow naturally. They keep it safe. They keep it well maintained. But then once you go in there, feel the feeling of forest. There is an order in
Wow.
forest in their growth, so I love that. I was introduced that in India, where they were not really maintained like here. They're really wild. But we used to go and then by ourselves. We don't know the dangers. We don't know any snakes or nothing. But we went in there and we experienced the wildness. And they're not like domesticated here, like a path, bike
Yeah.
paths, and all. They're really wild. But we went there and we kind of enjoyed the nature very much, very easily.
That sounds just, I mean, yeah, I love that kind of
Yeah,
uh, story and something where you're planting something
yeah.
even as a young child. Like when I lived in Canada, we did a our kindergarten class, we went and planted trees
Hmm.
and along this long like corridor, like just a little bit. It was near a freeway, but it was safe, so over from the freeway.
Yeah.
And it was a like a program. And so we were able to go back
Hmm.
when we graduated high school, so usually the same class.
Ah.
And it was so cool to see the trees grown, quite a bit after, what almost 15, what 15 years or so.
Yeah.
And it was really amazing to see. So now I haven't kept in touch, but I'm sure they're even, bigger.
Yeah. That's our
But
experience. Yeah.
yeah, that's so much fun. And it's actually essential. Like everyone should be planting one, two, three, four, at least if you're able to in your property.
Yeah.
Everyone should be planting some kind of tree or garden. If
Yeah.
everyone did that, the air quality on the whole planet would be better.
Much better. There's no doubt about
Yeah.
it. And also, we have direct benefits from that in terms of food we get, in terms of the flowers
Yes.
we can enjoy, the fragrances we can enjoy, and also this forest bathing can happen within our own garden too. Um,
Yes. Yes.
you see, normally forest bathing is prescribed for people who are having this information overload or brain fog or overwhelm, all resulting from this constant exposure to the computers and the data and all this
Right.
electromagnetism, right? That's why I tell them take a break in the afternoon or in the evening, just go by yourself or with your family and walk. While walking, also you can bring in yoga also, like a walking meditation can happen, and also just keeping the mind quiet just by observing this, being meditatively aware of the noises, of the scenes, of the whatever the stream going distance. All these are mentioned, but there is a yogic angle of the forest bathing too, Ruma. That is pratyahara. That means withdrawal of senses. Okay, a little deeper than what normally we do. Suppose I go there and then I see river, and then immediately I may get my cognition come in and describe or judge it how it is and all that, versus the perception comes from the river. I kind of see it, but I don't want to have any reaction to it. That is a kind of complete quietness. You are really immersing yourself in the nature. That is also
Right.
taught, because pratyahara means you are rejecting the impulses coming into you to form a reaction within you. That is a very important skill to develop, because when you are working something, you really are focused, you can really avoid all the other things very easily. Like you can achieve flow status much easier if you practice that also.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, I love that whole concept of flow state.
yeah, yeah. And it is a something, an opportunity for us every day. You can do it. See, that's one thing that my practice is. I don't have to do deliberately certain time. It has become a lifestyle.
Right.
Being in the present, paying complete attention, and deep breathing, and also this pratyahara, all those things, several things that were there, they kind of make you achieve that kind of effort less focus. you are it. You are in it. So it's kind of what is out there, that is all that you are going to see, not allowing talk or judgment on all those things. Then what is reveals a lot. Like the tree that you go there, you touch it, and then you see it for what it is. Don't describe, don't say anything. Just be with it and let the tree reveal to you. It reveals a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to I also love when we're in there's several different forests around here that we go to,
Yeah,
but I love to find a rock, a nice rock that you can like sit on and have your feet close to the ground.
yeah,
And then I think you and I spoke before. I'm a meditator, so I love to meditate. I do meditation in the morning and also in the evening.
yeah.
But if I'm in an amazing nature, in a natural state, to
Mm,
me that is like an incredible
yeah,
meditation. So I'll sit and do, even if I can just sit and do some breathing,
wonderful.
um, that kind of thing. And then, like you said, what I like to do is actually use the five senses
Yeah,
and really look to see what's around me, then listening,
yeah,
really hearing the sounds and feeling like what you're feeling, touching the rock, the tree trunk,
yeah.
that kind of thing.
That's
And
it. You are more
yeah,
aware of
it's
everything,
really
Ru.
restorative. It's
Yeah,
very restorative.
yeah. You are more aware of everything. You know, you are not analyzing the tree and all that. So you are allowing the senses come to you. Beyond that, having no reaction, that's a different thing that I was talking about. And also, walking around the forest in a meditative way means you are feeling what is underneath your feet, and you are really feeling the leaves under your knee. You are connected to that, and that also brings all the unnecessary thoughts going away and coming to the focused area, and that itself becomes a meditative experience, and which is also very good as you are doing. That's very good.
Yeah, and you can feel your heart rate
Yeah,
really just like your blood, like everything just feels more calm.
yeah.
And naturally, I have very good blood pressure. I have like the textbook, like what is it, 80 over 120, or what
120
is
over
the,
120
yeah.
over yeah.
So I always have the exact, the textbook blood pressure. But when I go into the forest, like
Yeah,
I literally feel
yeah,
just almost like, when you like slump into like a cushion, like a bean bag or something.
yeah,
I just feel the uh, being held by
yeah,
nature,
yeah.
but feeling so comfortable,
There is
like
a
you're just on a bean bag.
there is a mechanism for that, Roma, actual physiological mechanism. It's called relaxation response. Everybody knows about this opposite fight or flight syndrome, right? I'm talking
Right, right.
science, yeah, science now. Basically, everybody knows we have central nervous system and you have a peripheral nervous system that is autonomous. The central nervous system is the brain and the spinal cord, but the peripheral nervous system is more like all the autonomic nervous system of parasympathetic and sympathetic, right? Sympathetic comes into play when you perceive a danger or something really dangerous for you, then you want to fight it or flight it. That's why all the stress hormones are released so that you can do that evasive action. But then people are imagining a lot of unnecessary risks, unless think they, oh, I'm be fired, all those things they imagine, right? Now, this forest breathing, the things that you are feeling, that you are held with the nature, all those things induce a relaxation response in your brain. And that kind of induces a relaxation throughout the body. That's why your blood pressure is so normal.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's almost like a necessary
yeah,
restoration for all humans that are, in the rat race,
yeah,
working constantly, never taking breaks,
yeah,
eating unhealthy, all that stuff. And it's so easy, like the negative
yeah.
spiral is very easy to.
Come back, room. I want to talk to you something very important on based on that. Yeah. You
We
said
can't
something.
ask.
You said something about nature holding you, right?
Yeah,
Actually, that is really true. What we did was we are actually in the Mother Nature's lap. So that is considered house. You are always home. Whereas we put a separation from the nature and put in a house walls and stay in there and say, this is our home and separating our
yeah,
real mother. So if you consider nature is my mother, I'm in the lab. Wherever you are, you're home.
yeah,
You
yeah.
see? Then you're always in the lap of your mother, not artificial things that you have created for yourself. Basically, you have created a separation from your mother by staying away from the nature. Have you
Yes,
thought?
that is
thought?
so correct. That is
Yeah,
so correct
yeah,
because Mother Nature, Mother Earth, she's
yeah,
the or mother to everyone.
yeah. That's why I feel so comfortable in the nature on the wild if I go there. But we are always in the jungle of concrete in the cities.
Right.
So I got to get out and then breathe a little bit. I will tell you one example. There is a friend of mine. He's a, I think, very rich guy, and then he has four computers in front of him. But he's a lot of investment, a lot of things go on. So he goes nuts with it. He cannot really focus on anything and all. So he came in touch with me on Clubhouse. He talked to me. Then he called me and privately asked me, "What do you want me to do?" I said, "Just to close everything and just go out and lay down under the tree." And then he did that. He actually did that. And
Yeah.
unbelievably, he felt so much different. And he said, you cured me, and I'm going to do that every day, at least once or twice. And he was doing
Yeah.
that, and he feels so grateful for that. I told him, be grateful to the nature. Go there and spend time, have a relationship to the nature. This is a test I was
Right.
putting, asking people, how much relationship you have with the nature. And when I
Yeah.
asked them, a lot of people are really not able to answer me because they don't know. They say, "Oh, don't have time. I have to take a vacation. Then I will go and do that." You know. But I said,
Right.
you don't have to just like I told them an example. I do. I get into the car and then I go there, right? And immediately the car, I will be in touch with what's going on in the nature right away because I'm already watching them yesterday. So I just continue that. So all the green leaves that come up from then, I will observe, all the way they fall off. So that kind of connection, once we establish, it becomes so much easier to be with the nature. You know?
Yes. And if you don't have the capacity, like I have friends who live in the very much in a city,
Yeah,
but they've created their own like nature by having plants on their balcony,
yeah,
plants inside their home. They have plants all over, and it's really beautiful. Kind of like that new
exactly.
thing that a lot of people are like doing, like the indoor jungle.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but nothing compares to actually being in
Outward,
nature,
outdoors.
in a
Yeah,
forest
yeah,
or in a garden. But do whatever you can to bring some green,
yeah, exactly.
any kind of green into
Yeah,
your life
yeah.
regularly.
See, I'm near the river, like I said, so we have a lot of greenery certain months. But later on switches to winter is all snow and icy. But I enjoy that too, So that kind
Yeah.
of, yeah, that kind of association. Actually, when I first came to Chicago, it was so cold place, right? So I to acclimatize, I used to dress up and go in the winter to walk in the forest woods that they have, and that helped
Oh yeah.
me to acclimatize to the Chicago cold much faster.
Yes. Yes. And actually, there is some beauty in the winter. There's a different type of beauty in that. That kind of hibernation. That's a
Exactly,
rest period.
exactly.
And and if we follow the universe as a human race, if we actually follow the rhythms of the universe, then
Exactly.
you will be more in balance with yourself and more aligned with your life, and you'll just be happier.
Exactly. This is what I talk about the body clock, the diurnal rhythms, and just being associated with that. That becomes all the way important for the physical health also. Eat when you're
Yes.
hungry, sleep when you are really sleepy. Those two things
Right.
if you do properly, and drink water when you are really thirsty too. So all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, honestly, Dr. Rao, I think humans in general, we love to complicate everything.
Yeah.
And I think you will appreciate one of my just a general physician.
Yeah.
She mentioned to me one time. She said, she said, Ruma, it's actually really easy.
Yeah.
She said, I don't want anyone to hear me telling you this, but it's really easy to be healthier by, eating
Yeah.
healthy, eating less, and moving more, and getting
Exactly.
outside. She
Yeah.
she said it's a simple formula.
Yeah.
The big pharma doesn't want to hear me tell you this. Kaiser doesn't want to hear me tell you this, but just, it's not hard. It's not rocket science.
I
It's
use
actually
one
so
more
easy.
for that, Roma. I say move the body, eat less, but also keep the mind silent.
Ah, yeah,
We are doing the
that's
opposite in the
a
civilization
good
because,
add-on.
yeah, we kind of keep the mind moving, body still,
Right.
and eat a lot.
Right.
And,
Right.
yeah, and,
Oh my gosh, yeah. I can picture that. I'm
yeah.
picturing that right now.
No, that's what is happening in the sofas with a bucket of ice cream and watching the movie. What is it? Mind is going all over, and then body is quiet.
Right.
So that's why the people who are outward oriented like us, we want to go out and enjoy in the lap of the nature, and that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think one thing I noticed, just when I'm talking to, colleagues or friends or just people in general when I'm out,
yeah,
I noticed that one thing that I do probably a little bit less than most
yeah,
people, because people are always like, oh, how do you have so much time, blah blah blah. One thing I don't do often is I don't watch TV.
yeah,
I don't think as much as most people.
yeah,
So I'm not going right into TV after work. I'm usually doing some kind of creative work, something for myself,
yeah,
um, anything but just. I mean, I have nothing against Netflix. I love Netflix. They have great shows. It's so much fun,
yeah,
but it's not a common practice
yeah,
for me to watch TV every day. I
yeah.
do not watch it every day.
I think we shouldn't be addicted to this anything, but then we can also use the information is to our advantage. For example, you and me were talking. You are in California, I'm in Iowa, or somebody is in somewhere in the world. They're talking to me. I think that's a good thing about the technology, right? It's not the
Yes. Yeah.
technology, Roma. It's what we
Right.
make it out of it. And so I use TV in a way like a spiritual talks that I listen to some of the world teachers and all that, and also I talk
Right.
on the universities in India. So I just go and share whatever I feel that they should be doing, and that way it is the question of how we not allow ourselves to be addicted or habituated to anything.
Right.
Yoga does that to
Right.
me. Yoga really helps me to keep my mind in control, the self will under control.
Yes.
So, what I said was, your own self will can be your enemy or can you be your friend if you allow it to change the mindset. And that is very easy once you understand the mind as per yoga and all that. So, I use technology, like for example, I watch CNBC, I watch some particular programs like Prime Minister Modi from India came here yesterday and today he was doing yoga and all that. I took interest in that because that interests me very much, right? So I am very target oriented to what I want to watch, whatever. So I'm very interested in the world affairs, like the global think
Right.
what's going on, what kind of things are going on in Sudan, what are going on in Afghanistan or in Northern America, and all that. I'm pretty interested. I follow that
Yeah.
because as a citizen, I should be responsible to know what is going on, right? So that way is good. But then always nullify this kind of exposure of information or technology with being natural, like what we are talking about, so that is important. So we're slipping into this like a habit, then the brain goes haywire. So that's why these nature habits are very, very good, very cheap, and very nurturing us, right?
Right. It's free, right? It's
It's
free. You
free.
don't
Yeah.
have to pay any money to go out into a forest and touch a
Yeah.
tree.
Like they said, best thing in life are always free. Like the friendship we have and
That's
all
so
that
true.
is absolutely free and nurturing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. It's very nice, Ruma, that I was able to talk to you this long, and I have not talked to you this long.
I know I haven't been, again, that's me being kind of off of,
Yeah.
I've been a little bit away from social media and stuff a lot, so I have I have heard some of your talks, which are always fascinating to
Yeah.
me. I love hearing what you have to say, and I like your series. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of back listening more on wisdom. I had taken a little bit of
Yeah.
just a lot of stuff going on where I didn't have a chance to
I'm
really
doing
like
it
get back
every
in.
day, 6 o'clock after my work is all done. Like it really helps me to relax with my friends, like you and other people came here too. Quinn and other people are here. So I like to have a chat with whoever comes, and then that's
Yeah,
nice, right? Yeah. Not
yeah.
preaching,
I
just to share.
love to explore that.
Yeah, just to share. So this I found the energy of the entrepreneur. I work with a community, and they are kind of into the artificial intelligence, and they kind of show me some of the intricacies of the how to learn pictorial. I made videos on that. So that's good. So I saw most of the women are entrepreneurs, and then they are doing a lot of good things by using this AI technology, which is good. But then I don't want them to get into the trap of this information overload. That's why I thought this series will be helpful for them.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your wisdom, and you have a very gentle and kind way of providing information.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just really appreciate all your talks and things that you've done. I haven't had a chance to be live, listen to you live, but I've listened to a lot of your talks, just
Okay.
because it's recorded, which is so
Yeah,
nice.
that's the
So again,
message
I
I
just
get
really
from,
appreciate it.
yeah, from people. Even though they are not here, they do listen and they communicate with me. That's why I know people are listening. That's why I always
Yeah.
motivated by that. And also, if you give kindness, Ruma, the kindness come back to you. That is the beauty about it. If you are just
Yes.
kind, and the kindness is always coming back to you too. So it's a very nurturing thing for us, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I really hope so too. Because that's one of my mottos is just try to,
Yeah.
just to be kind to everyone
We will
as
be
much as
probably
possible.
coming to California because my daughter wants to do another advanced degree in her business entrepreneurship. So she wants a ice cream company right now. She wants to do more on the
Oh,
entrepreneurship. So we will be coming to California. That's where she got the admission. She will be coming there next year. So we'll
oh,
be,
you're kidding me.
yeah.
Where's she gonna go? She's going
Uh,
to school here?
no, she went to school in Iowa. She finished her graduate degree in this one. Now she wants to masters in that. So she's coming there. She,
Wow,
she got
how
that
exciting.
admission, not yet finalized, but she got the admission. She has to finalize when she wants to go and all that. So
Well, best of luck. I bet your daughter is wonderful. And Dr. Rao, before I want someone else to be able to come up and say hi to you. So
Yeah.
I just want to thank you again before I jump off here in just a few seconds.
Sure,
But it's
sure.
so nice to talk to you, and thank you for bringing us into the forest bathing. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Thank you, Roma.
Okay,
Nice
bye,
talking.
Dr. Rao.
Bye bye. Hi, Quinn. How are you?
Hi, Dr. Rao. I'm
Yeah,
doing great. How are you today?
I'm good. Yeah, Dr. K is here too. How are you, Dr. K?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm
Glad
good
to
too.
meet you.
Yeah. See, we were talking about the forest bathing, which I put in an article in the LinkedIn, and also I made a video on that too. I think this is important in this day and age with all this information. We're cooped up with all this, uh, all this information, right? So I was really occupied all afternoon with so many things. I couldn't really stay in any room, so I had to come and do the room at 6 o'clock. But by the time I'm already done. But after that, sometimes we go to the river, which is very close by for us walking distance, and we have a big park here, and that we made it like a habit. We go and wander around, and especially on the summertime is beautiful because the river bed very green, very nice, and there's so much science of forest bathing. One of the things that brought attention to me was in the COVID, we were following the data, and what we found that was uh, the I think that is some of the Scandinavian countries. Yeah, Scandinavian countries. They were having very low rate of mortality and morbidity of COVID. Then we went and studied the scientists, obviously, not me. But the data came back as they do two things. One is this forest bathing, other one is indoor saunas. Okay, so they do both of them. So even though the infection rate was high, they didn't have the morbidity or mortality. And then when we studied, they were having a lot of antibodies that are protecting them, and then all the Japanese, also I mentioned in the article, Shedinigo, they call it, and there were so many studies done where not only good hormones are secreted by the forest bathing, but also stress hormones are much less, mainly because yeah, the sensations that we get relaxes us, in the nature. Quinn, you must be having some experience with this, right? Do you go and walk in the woods?
That must be because of nature being our
Yeah,
natural environment, as in our equilibrium, like
yeah, yeah,
the environment we're most used to.
yeah,
Because I did have a lot of experience while I was growing up in Canada, because I
yeah.
was around the 5 Great Lakes, and there's so much nature. So,
Beautiful.
so throughout my master's, 2 years of master's, I pretty much went to the nature,
Hmm.
went to nature every 2 weeks, like deep into the lake country and with a canoe and portage and all that. So
Yeah.
very few people, just all nature all around.
Yeah, we used to take the canoe on the Chicago Lake, Michigan. I used to have a friend on the
Wow.
lake. He used to live there. So when I go visit him, he used to take me in the canoe and nothing else. Just we both used to travel a lot, and then that was wonderful to feel completely vulnerable, but also alone on the lake. And that kind of thing is good. But this forest bathing also has the trees, that trees produce phycotenoids. Those are the ones that actually we breathe in, and which is very, very good for us too. So, so many unseen things that happen in the forest bathing. That's why I put that article. Have you got hold of that article, Quinn? It's in the LinkedIn. I posted it today,
No,
5:30.
I haven't seen it. I'll see it
Yeah,
after we finish
yeah.
talking, because I'm just relaxing on the sofa. I don't want to move right now.
Yeah, yeah, fine. But then that is something like a lot of chemical structures, a lot of medical facts I put in there. But even if you don't know all that, you just go there. Only thing you have to do is pay attention to the noises, the scenes, the whatever you feel around you without really judging them, without really thinking too much. Just let the thinking go to the dogs for a while, and just to focus on
Yeah.
that. And that itself is very, very nurturing for people. And when you don't have that kind of continuous thinking, that stoppage of itself produces your relaxation response, which is very good for your blood pressure. For you also, Quinn, it is really that is the one you want to do. You see, this is the relaxation response made famous by uh, 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 Herbert Benson, I think, that's his name. He's a Harvard cardiologist, and he made an institution out of that. That actually came from what is called mantra yoga. What is mantra is they give you some word, some significance of it, which you are going to uh, repeat it so that the mind would have the chance to go away from the word to whatever it thinks otherwise, right? Then you are more
I see.
focused, more concentrated, and then you don't have to do mantra. You can do one, one, one like that. But the only word you want to do it, you should be more aware of that. Then what happens is the repetition of that kind of thing makes a relaxation response in the brain get activated that is actually connected with the parasympathetic nervous system, and you have the relaxation going all the way, relaxing your the whole being. That's the science behind it. There's a lot of evidence about what happens if you do that, and then you can do the blood pressure before and after. You can measure the chemicals and all those things, but you can easily show them objectively also. Nowadays, that has become a big business. People are really hooking up people to like a EEG or other monitoring devices that we can put blood pressure and all those things, right? And patient
Okay.
objectively sees it that he was coming with some numbers like a blood pressure and all high, and when he is induced with that relaxation response by himself by going into this yeah, like a prayer or meditation state, he sees himself the numbers have come down. Then he becomes more a believer of that and then practice that. I supported that because a lot of my patients with high blood pressure, I gave them medication that they need, but also I gave them this as an alternate lifestyle like. And when they did it, I was able to cut down the medication at least. And some people I could take out, but not very few people. But most of the, if they did it regularly, I was able to cut down the medication. So that they enjoyed
Wow.
it too because they were enjoying this relaxation response. And also this body scanning or this dead bird pose that also can do that. The same thing can happen when you go to the nature and not really engaging with whatever happening but just observing it without making any comment. So take a walk, feel what is underneath your feet, listen what is coming at you, birds or leaves or streams, enjoy the greenery, appreciate the beauty around you, just connect with that. And when you go there, take a complete break. Don't think about things. Don't think about, oh, I have to come and do that post and all that. Don't do that. Even for 10, 15 minutes, if you do that, if you are doing that regularly, then you will get to the state where you are meditatively aware. And once you are in the awareness, it happens everywhere.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. I think it's a good practice that you can implement for yourself, Gwen.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
You-
Try to get into nature as much as possible.
Yeah.
I actually use my previous places like the national parks and so on.
Yeah.
This seems like on top of a little island with lots of trees,
Yeah.
and I use those as a safe placement sort of
Okay.
visualization
Yeah.
for EMDR and so on. So
Uh,
that's it's it's very calming.
yeah.
Definitely better than
I see
imagining
Rosemary.
myself in my own room.
Yeah.
So
I see Rosemary and Sharon. If you want to come up and talk to me, that's good. We are talking about the forest bathing today, and I have made a video on the also article on that. I think they are in my club place. I think somebody is asked to place it there. I don't know if they placed it or not. I was busy with things. This is forest bathing is a easy, cheap, and blessing for us to go to the nature and to make a connection with the nature. Actually, that's what I ask everybody of my clients or patients or relatives, whoever I come to. I ask them, what is the relationship or nature with you? How much are you aware? Many of them told me that they may walk in a forest or somewhere, they go to a vacation and all that, but it's not like a regular practice that they do. And that's what I was recommending. Take a walk, take a break, or go to the garden and enjoy the garden. All those human things we are kind of not doing is really not needed, because we are electromagnetic surrounded with devices, and all the this phone also, if you look at it so much time, it's not good for your eyes and also not good for your optic area and the brain also. So this talking also, when too much talking will take our sensations outward, not inward. So in the forest bathing, we found that improves your immunity also. That's why it's so important to cultivate that kind of, whenever you have a chance, just take a break. I used to do with my staff when I have the big clinic I had. I had a lot of patients, a lot of women were working for me. I used to do when we were very, very busy, we had schedule filled up in the morning and in the evening, but we usually get 1 hour for lunch. That 1 hour lunch, what we used to do, I used to order the food and ask them to bring it to the park that we go to, and then we drove to the park and sat there and then ate the food and then wandered a little bit around and then came back. That gave us such a break from the intense stress otherwise. So don't have to,
Nice.
yeah, immerse yourself in the stress. Take a deliberate break like that. I was concerned about what my staff are going through. That's why it's a very high stress, because a lot of patients, lot of demands, and then sometimes they are
Yeah.
not nice. The patients are abusing the girls and all that, right? So I saw when they comes to me, they are quiet, but when they come to the staff, sometimes they misbehave. Some patients, so I used to take the breaks quite often, and we didn't need that much of vacation because of this kind of small breaks. I also call mini vacation, weekend vacation. So that means we used to go early in the morning, get up early in the morning on Saturday, and go to Chicago and stay overnight on Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon we come to, completely different from our village type atmosphere here. That also helped us quite a bit. So it's a, I think Angela, she is somebody who does this gardening quite often. So she wrote a book on the garden. So I think she's coming back. She comes here every day. Um, I would like to see what Rosemary and Sharon thinks about this. So that way it will be nice to talk to them also. Um, I mean, this is a whole series about. Actually, these ladies I'm meeting, they're all doing lot of entrepreneurship. Right? Hi, Rosemary.
Hi, Rosemary.
Yeah, Dr. Raul, nice to, did I pronounce that right? I'm
Yeah,
very
yeah,
sorry.
Dr. Rao. Yeah, correctly. You said
Yeah,
correct. Yeah,
I love the topic.
yeah,
Definitely agree. Wouldn't say I've done forest bathing,
yeah,
but definitely just outside, just in nature,
yeah,
definitely helps.
yeah. It's a style when we are there, what we are doing with the nature. That's what I'm trying to communicate. Everybody goes and then just walks around but thinking what is going on with my work and all that, and they think normal. So what I'm saying is, when you're working, pay complete attention, pay all the concentration, that's fine, but then don't be in the same mode whether you're eating, whether you're sleeping, whether you're walking and all that. So that is the art of how to deal with the modern information overload for us. Otherwise this is going to consume us. I treat so many people with the burnout because of this. Doctors, they have this EMRs, right? After the EMRs came, they're supposed to make their life simple, but there's so much data thrown at us, and the more you do it, the more they bring it. You know, So it's a kind of not even for the patient. They want to make more money, so they want us to document more that way, this way, so the revenue department will have a lot of money. So after you are done with the patient, everything, they bring more stuff asking us to document this way so we can bill and we can make more money. That's the thing. So people are frustrated because they are becoming clerks, like writing down everything. So I told them, okay, if you have to be exposed to the information overload because of the system structure, develop some skills that you can deal with so that you are protecting your brain and your body. So that appeals to some people, but they don't make it a habit. That's what I'm insisting on. Make it a habit. Take a break. When you take a break like this, then how do you do that break is important. If you go, for example, we used to take the picnic break in the middle of the day. We didn't talk about the business there. We just talked about our kids, our family, and all that. So that small break kind of put us away from the office, really replenished all the girls, and they came back with more energy and did more work. I didn't do this because of that, but then I mean they made more money there for me basically. But then I didn't do it with that intention. I was caring about that. They all know about it. That's why they appreciated it. Even the gesture makes a difference, right? People feel good.
So actually, with Dr. Rao, you mentioned that we should do a 1 minute reset every
Yeah,
single hour. So the 1 minute reset, we could actually just imagine ourselves in the park, right? For that we just went to for lunch and
no,
sort of
that reset was like a PMBB, present moment breathing
mhm.
break. So what it is as you take deep breaths and you focus on the breathing on the tip of the nose as the air coming in and out, then
I see.
you just do maybe 6 or 8 deep breaths. But the main thing is you kind of put a stop to the brain. Otherwise, you're thinking about all the things that are going on, and that is not healthy. Continuously thinking is not healthy. You got to have the handle on the thinking. The thinking should be in your control because it happens to you from the memories, from the stimuli, everything coming at you. But then if you don't allow it to be out of you for a while, then it will take you over. That is what is happening with this overwhelm, this stress, and all that. Too much information coming at us, and it's going to be more. Even the artificial intelligence may cut down, but still, after the artificial intelligence came, there's so many innumerable programs. There's people are getting into them and always getting overloaded. That is what's also happening. But it's not the information out there; it's how you keep your mind. So for that, take a 1 minute break, reset, and eliminate everything and come back to it. And that becomes a habit. Then you will be like me in awareness and doing things, not getting overwhelmed. And that requires some practice. So the practice was allowing the mind to be in the network all the time. Break that. That's what I'm saying. Then it becomes very easy. For me, to be in the present has become normal, but it was an effort in the beginning. You see, that's what I'm saying.
I see. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Actually, you can focus on the touch of the air on your nose as you take deep breath in and out. That 1 minute, you just focus the air touching your alanasa, we call it the tip of the nose. As it enters,
Mhm.
as it goes out, you just focus on that. And then make that 1 minute, in the beginning, you may not remember. So I used Apple Watch. They have this breathing program like, and there's a flower that opens up and closes down. So as it opens up,
Nice.
yeah, take a deep breath as it closes down, and then you can program it. It can remind you. Yeah, that's what I did in the beginning. This was several years ago. But then after I got the handle of it, I don't need. I automatically get into this. It's for me very easy. For example, a patient comes to me and then I'm focusing on him, but I allow him to speak, right? And he will be speaking, explaining, I will be listening to him. As I listen to him, I just focus on the breath and keep quiet. And that way I'm listening to him, but now I'm just take a deep breath 3 4 times. That itself. Suppose I stop in front of the red light, 1 or 2 minutes, that I can use that minute for that too. That kind of things, I kind of find opportunities for us to take that break from the continuous chatter of the mind. Otherwise, it forms a neural path in your brain, and then that takes over, and then you don't have even control over your thought. That's what many people feel. Oh, thoughts are coming on their own. They're not stopping. Yeah, they are really coming because you have allowed them to form a path. This is a neuroplasticity. The more you think of one thing, the more that becomes established in your brain, and then you reverse that, and then that will be eliminated, and then it won't have the same effect.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So, Rosemary, do you have any questions?
How long approximately do you suggest to your clients?
How long?
Yes, when they're actually taking into the idea of forest bathing or
That is,
indulging in nature. Yeah, because I
yeah,
know you say you suggest it, but is there like a time frame
yeah,
that you
like a
suggest?
10 15 minutes twice a day is good, or maybe 20 minutes 3 times a week. That is also one thing, but some regularity, like 3 times a week, if you go and if you practice, it becomes much easier. But some executives that come to me, they have so much information around them. They are working with 4 computers at the same time, and they think they have ideas during the night, so disturb their sleep. And then those kind of people, I prefer them do every day. But regularly, you are working in some not very much high exposure, just 3 times a week, Rosemary. At least 20 minutes at a time. 20 actual minutes
Thank
of
you.
walking in the park, not the time to go to the park and all. Actual walking time where you have enough time to bring yourself to the present moment and stay there and appreciate all the feeding from the nature, like all the, you have to calm down your mind and be listening to the, suppose you are by the river, you want to see the river is going by, all that beauty, all that waves, everything that you want to see, that is also there too. So you have to actually connect with what is nature is emitting towards you.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, read my article and the movie I made out of that article. That I think that's much more information for you to absorb over the some time, and then you will check yourself whether I'm having these changes when I'm doing this. Then it becomes a real good thing because you appreciate the good things happening within you, physiologically, psychologically, and also immunologically. There are so many benefits of that. I put that all there in a doctor way, but that way you can understand scientifically there is proof. But I'm also a yogi too, right? So I do this with much more awareness than normal people do because I cultivate that for so many years now. So that's why it is easy for me. But I understand where I was, how I got here, and how much dedication I had to put in there. One of the blessings for me is coming and sharing like this because all those principles gets established in me, so I don't have to really study or do anything because they're already in the life experience. But I don't do it because of that, but then that's a side effect I have because I come and share.
I definitely will check out that article. Thank you.
Yeah, it's on LinkedIn. I think it's there. I put the articles in the LinkedIn. I have to put on the Buy Me Coffee and the Great Academy and all that, but I'm not getting into the habit of that because so many things I do during the day. Mainly, my time goes to people consulting for their individual problems, so I give priority for that. Even if I'm in a room, I may not be able to talk because I'll be in consultation with something else, So sometimes we're online, so that's why I could be there on the Zoom and asking me questions and all that. So I put the clubhouse room on mute and then I talk to them. But if I have a chance, I'll come and talk all the time. See? Okay, Quinn, do that forest bathing as much as you can and let me know how you feel about that. And then we can improve the quality of that slowly. Okay?
Okay, yeah, I'm reading the article on LinkedIn right now.
Good, good. So you got up, huh? That's good.
Yeah, I better move, right? Just like
Yeah,
what you said.
yeah. Move the body, keep the mind silent, and eat a little. Don't eat too much. That's the formula for a good health, as for me. So,
Yeah, it's definitely. I think keeping the mind still is the hardest part these days.
yeah, yeah. That is the hardest thing. That is the most important thing because modern stimulation, modern exposure to the information has really quadrupled. It is getting a lot, and that's actually that's my main thing: information overload. How do I not get into information at the same time use the information that is important for us, but not to protect our body and mind is not good because later on as you start, that's the problem with the kids. They are addicted to the phones, addicted to this outward impulses so much, and they are not playing physically. They used to go out and play. They're not doing. They are doing this video games and all that. Parents also are not paying attention to that. Obesity, all this lack of communication, relationship, everything is going down the hill. So I do talks about digital detox, for the kids and everybody. And I mean, they do that, but it's a menace that has become for the entire society. Too many kids are occupied with their phones all the time. They don't even have conversation anymore. They just chat. That's not good.
Yeah, it's modern capitalism.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
more of everything.
yeah. Anyway, we are trying to bring it to the notice of people. So what I enjoy, I kind of share. The present moment awareness, that's what we want to establish ourselves. And then go and work whenever we have to work and then be in the attentive to what we are doing. And after that, you just employ these measures to protect ourselves from this information overload. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, you seem like you have so many things you have to think about, so many things coming at you, so much information thrown at you. You have to have a method to handle this so that they don't harm. I think it can be done. That's my point. Actually, if you can see it, I have devoted so many weeks for this topic, energy and entrepreneurship. So if you go back and listen to some of the talk, they will make sense to you how the entrepreneurship is demanding, throwing so much information at you. So do that, but then do that in a very intelligent way of protecting yourself. That's the message. All right. Anybody else has any other questions, or can we close the room now? We came here 6 o'clock, so 6 to 7 usually I want to keep it. This is now 7:15. So my friend Ruma came after a long time, so we end up talking almost 3 times 15 minutes, right? That's like a 45 minutes I talked to her today. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about when you were talking with her, you mentioned that you should eat when hungry and
Yeah.
then sleep when sleepy.
Yeah.
So does that apply to everything? Like also for thirsty, being thirsty before you
Thirsty,
drink and
thirsty depends on the age because some older people they get by the time they get thirsty they are already dehydrated. So water is something that you want to replenish according to the temperature outside, according to the work you are doing, all that. You see, better to drink so that you don't actually get too thirsty. That's the only precaution I'd say. Otherwise, you follow all the natural diurnal rhythms and also allow the system to function on its own intelligence. then you listen to the body and the urges, and you can drink and eat and sleep according to cycle is much easier, because there is a intelligence the body has that is protected by its own circle, right? And circle 12-hour circles are there. Modern life, what has become, it has become 24 hours, and also nighttime shifts, and so many things that have come that has taken our simple lifestyle, somehow devise the simple lifestyle where you can not be pressured by somebody that you have to eat this because you are at a social occasion. Like I go to the party or I go to some meeting, there's a lot of food there. Just because food is there, people eat, even though they're not hungry, you know. And that's not, or if they like the taste and they stuff it up, you know. Those kind of things are very difficult to change after they establish. I treat so many people with obesity, basically, you know. So one girl on the clubhouse, she came here. She was so obese, she could not move out of her chair. So I taught her chair yoga, you know, and after that she was able to get up and walk. And then she called back and told me she lost 25 pounds in a couple of weeks or something. So it's a question of getting your body getting out and moving. And that was easy possible for her because I taught her doing some yogasanas in the chair. That's one thing I'm very proud of, Quinn, because I can devise according to your work pattern, where you work, what you do. I devise a program for you, and so that you don't have to really go to a studio or a yoga studio or your gym or anything like that. You can make your work itself as a workout. For
I
example,
see.
yeah, for example, for me,
Okay.
I go and drive the car, right, and go to the hospital, and then park it in the parking lot. Usually, we are giving the front lot. Doctors and mostly senior, they are given the front lot. But I park way away from the. If the weather is good, I park it way away, and then I walk from there to the hospital, and then I don't take the elevator. I take the steps, you know, and then I walk in the corridors several times whenever I have the chance. And then also, if I have to sit down and do some EMR work and all that, then I do chair yoga. That also because it relieves the strain in the back, but also in the neck, and also your legs are much circulation is much better if you do that. So knowing the person, where and how, what they do, I can devise a opportunity-based work program for you that you can do slowly from morning till evening. Then by the end of the thing, you are really exercised enough. You feel that's what happens to me. I climb over the stairs several times, walk several times in the corridors because we have to go to different wings to see the patients and all that, right? And also, I don't want to sit that easily. Usually, work on the computer also standing. You know, there are computers there. We call them cows, computer on wheels. You know, so they are there. They you can stand and do it. In the patient room also, the cow is. We can take the cow and go in there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah,
I tried that before.
yeah.
Working on standing.
And it's a kind of easy thing. But the thing is, if you allow the body to enjoy the creature comforts, then that becomes a problem. A lot of people get obese because of that. Sofas and elevators, cars, and all these things, right? So we are not mobile anymore that much.
Yeah, gotta move. Gotta
Yeah,
move.
yeah. Move the body, keep the mind silent, and eat only when you are hungry, and also don't eat too much. If you can follow these three principles, you will be very happy that you are maintaining the health. You know.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Then we'll
Have fun
close
then.
the room for now today, Gwen and Rosemary. Thanks for coming up, and I will talk to you again tomorrow, 6 o'clock Central Time. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rao.
Okay.
Appreciate the
Thank
room.
you. Okay. Bye.
Goodbye.